book and I'm reading it. And I honestly, Carol, I was getting somewhere to some vague understanding, but I'll be honest, I was really not clear. I couldn't understand the Tiller bridge. I couldn't get from linear medical science to subtle energies, and finally, actually, to who we are as Homo sapiens, as human people. He has laid the foundations, but I wasn't getting it. Okay. Right. So I meet him in Scottsdale for dinner. I was very persistent. He says, okay, I'll meet with you. I'll meet with you. And honestly, that dinner was like yesterday, because here's the thing. Tiller is very special for many reasons. But one thing was very clear to me when I talked to him, that dinner meeting. First of all, I was really terrified of meeting him. It's like saying, I'm going to meet with Einstein. Why do you ask Albert? What do you ask Charles Darwin? What do you ask Isaac Newton? You're asking a rock star in science, okay? And I didn't really know what I would really say, but all I knew is I needed to just be in the same room with him. And it's like saying, can I feel this man's heart? I think this is what it was. And it was the most magical 4 hours. Honestly, it was a 4-hour dinner. But one thing I did ask him was, in your model, you talk about slower than speed of light and faster than speed of light, and you have to link the two. And we're in the slower than speed of light in medicine, right? He says, okay, you're getting somewhere. I said, so you make these connections with deltrons to the faster than speed of light. Well, it seems to me, Dr. Tiller, that you get there with spiritual work. Well, have you heard, this is the question, I was testing him. Have you heard of A Course in Miracles? And you know what? That's when he shocked me. He totally blew my mind, because he turns to Jean Tiller, his wife, and says, oh yeah, Jean, remember Helen Schuckman? She came. He came to their home in Menlo Park, and she brought the original manuscript of A Course
they were
in Miracles.
the original ones. Yeah.
The original manuscript for Bill and Jean Tiller to read. Okay. Wow. And he says, I remember I read the book. I think it's a very fine book. It's how Jean and I live our life. Can you imagine? I was a student of A Course in Miracles at that time. My head just went, okay. I mean, right. I went, what? Okay. So he's unique because Tiller knows science. He's exquisite in his approach. At Stanford, exquisite in mathematics. He knows materials. He knows engineering. But he was a spiritual adept. He was a spiritual master. I'm going to repeat this. You have to be inner self-managed, Carol. Let's get this straight. So I'm saying to him, Dr. Tiller, thank you for this dinner. I would love to come and study. And he said, no. He said, no, you belong at Mayo. Go back. I went back to Rochester. I mean, it was a conference. I was speaking. I was okay with it, but I was really upset. I was so upset. I'm in Rochester, and it was July 2009, thereabouts. And I was really like, what? And then 3 months later, out of the blue, he called me. It was around October. And he said, I've been thinking about your proposal. And he says, I think we could work together, but you don't need to replicate physics experiments. What you need to do is communicate something of the Tillerian physics to your colleagues, so you open the door to some greater reality in medicine, okay? And I said, I'm on the phone. No problem. Am I shouting too much? To me, it was so exciting. I said, yes. He said, I have no money for you. I said, who cares? Yeah. It's not that I want the truth. Okay. And my well-being is not from money. My well-being is to follow the truth. Okay, follow the heart. And you've opened something. But this is the thing that really stood out for me, and I wrote it in the introduction to Bridging Science and Spirit. He said this, and I'm putting up my finger and shaking it because it stood out to me and it was exciting. I remember that. And he said, Nisha, I will not work with you unless you meditate.
Mm.
I will not work with you
Right.
unless you meditate. Now, Carol, how many times do we fill out application forms for jobs, universities, medical schools? Does it say, do you meditate? Is that
Right.
the most important question to a human being? That are you with it?